Welcome back to this second part tutorial on data modeling in Power BI. In the first part of data modeling, we learned about creating the relationship between tables. Let me click on this model view, and here you see the relationship between these two tables is created. And if you see these two tables, the data is not sufficient for visualization. Suppose that if you want to create a visual on item-wise sales revenue, then we don't have the sales revenue information here. Suppose that if you want to visualize store wise gross profit, then the gross profit is not calculated. So adding the calculated columns in our data is also called data modeling. To create the calculated columns, we have to use the DAX formulas. DAX is a short form of data analysis expression, which is a formula language used in Power BI. By using the DAX formula language, we create the calculated columns or measures. First of all, let's see how we create the calculated columns. For that, let me click on this table view. Then click on this sales data table. Here in this sales data table, I need to calculate the sales revenue. For calculating sales revenue, first of all, I should have the information of item wise selling price per unit. The selling price per unit information I have here in this item information table. I have to fetch these selling price per unit information here in the sales data table. For every item that is in the item name column, I have to display the selling price per unit. So here let's add a calculated column to display the selling price per unit. For that, click on the table tools, then click on new column. In the formula bar, you can see column equal to given. Just change this column to the name of the column, which is SPPU, means selling price per unit, is equal to. Then here you have to write the formula to capture the selling price per unit for each item that is in the item name column. For that, you can use the lookup value function of Power BI. So put here lookup, then the lookup value function is suggested. Click on this function. In the result column name, you have to put the column name where the result is. That is the selling price per unit column of item information table. So here select this item information SPPU column. Click on this. Now put a comma. In the search column name 1, we have to put the column of the table where we have to search for the item name. That is the item name column of item information table. So click on this item information, item name column, then put a comma. In this search value 1 parameter, we have to put the column name where our search value is. That is the item name column of sales data table. So put here sales data, then select this item name column. After putting these parameters, simply close this lookup value function with a bracket, then press enter. And here you see the selling price per unit column is added with the selling price per unit of every item that is here in the item name column. So in this way, we use the DAX function to generate the calculated columns. After having the information of quantity sold and the selling price per unit, we can now calculate the sales revenue. To calculate the sales revenue, add here a new column by going to table tools, click on new column, and here in the column equals to, make it sales revenue. Sales revenue equals to, now we have to multiply the quantity sold column with the selling price per unit column. For that, type here the table name, that is sales data. Then choose this quantity sold column of sales data table. Put the multiplication symbol. Then again type sales. Select this sales data SPPU column. Then press enter. And here you see the sales revenue column is generated by multiplying the quantity sold with the selling price per unit. After having this sales revenue column here, we can now visualize the sales revenue. Now to visualize the gross profit, we have to add here the purchase price per unit column. For that, click on new column and here put purchase price per unit PPU equal to, then use the lookup value function. In the result column name, select the purchase price per unit column of item information table. Then put a comma. In the search column name 1, select this item name column of item information table, put a comma. Then here in the search value 1, select this item name column of the sales data table. For that, put the table name. Then select this sales data item name column, close parenthesis and press enter. Will capture the purchase price per unit for every single item. Now to calculate the gross profit, we have to subtract the purchase price per unit from selling price per unit, then multiply the result with the quantity sold. For that, let me create here a new column and put here gross profit is equal to, put here the quantity sold column of sales data table. So type here sales, select this sales data quantity sold column, put the multiplication symbol, open a bracket, then select the selling price per unit column of sales data table, minus select the purchase price per unit column of sales data table. Then close the bracket, press enter. This will calculate the gross profit. Here you see these values are the gross profit value for every single item that is in the item name column. So in this way we can create the calculated columns to make the data more analytical. Now let's see how we can create measures. Suppose that in your report, if you want to visualize the total sales revenue, in that case you can create here a measure for total sales revenue. For that, click on the new measure tool. Let me click on new measure, and here you see measure equal to is given. In the measure you can put the title, that is total sales revenue, and here after the equal to you can use the sum function. So put here sum, open parenthesis, then select this sales revenue column of sales data table, close parenthesis, hit enter. Here you see the total sales revenue measure is created, and you can use this measure in your visual. Similarly, if you want to visualize the total gross profit, for that also you can create here a measure. Click on the table tools, click on new measure, and here put total gross profit and use the sum function. Then choose this gross profit column of sales data table, close bracket and press enter. And here you see a new measure is created, which is the total gross profit. So this is all about the basics of data modeling in Power BI, where we do the things like creating relationship between tables, creating the calculated columns by using the DAX formulas, creating measures, etc. In the next chapter, we will learn how to visualize the data in Power BI. If you want to practice data modeling in Power BI, you can download this sample project file from the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. See you in next chapter.